Hello, Bon Jovi, and welcome to another Homebrew Wednesday video. How are you doing? We alright, boys and girls? Now this week what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a Chubby Cherub. This is a Cooper's recipe, Cooper's website. I'll stick the link down below. Nothing too complicated, it's just a normal extract with some hop additions at various stages, 10 minutes and etc, etc, but you'll see that as we go throughout. One thing you're not going to see in the video, because there's no point in showing you really, it's all a bit boring and we all know how to sanitize our kit, is me doing the sanitizing of the kit. Okay, so assume that all of the tools I'm using and the bucket, it's all been sanitized with Star San. Alright, so you just make sure that you do that as well if you're going to give it a go. The other thing you're not going to see is after 4 days in the fermenting vessel in the beer fridge, once fermentation had died down, I stuck a 25-gram hop packet. Basically it's just a muslin bag I found. I've sanitized the muslin bag, of course, make sure you sanitize everything, and I put in 25 grams of Chinook. So the recipe asks for 50 grams of Chinook. 25 grams is on the boil, and the other 25 grams you chuck in after 4 days or so, once the fermentation has died down a little bit. Hope that all makes sense. Let's get on with it, and I'll see you at the end. Alright, ta-da! So here are the ingredients for the next recipe. We've got a tin of Cooper's light malt extract. We've got a tin of Cooper's amber malt extract. I'm going to be using 50 grams of Chinook. I'm going to be using 25 grams of Nelson Sauvignon, and I'm going to be using 25 grams of Cascade and 500 grams of light malt extract. Right, so the first thing we do is we've got 5 litres of water in here, and just over to one side here I've got 500 grams of light malt extract. I'm going to chuck that in there, all of it. And we're going to, yeah, that'll do. We're going to bring that to the boil. Right, here we are. We've got a steady sort of boil there. Over here I've got 25 grams of Chinook, so I'm going to chuck those in. Give them a little stirry boost. That's it. Nice little stir there. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the timer. I've already done over here, as you can see, for 10 minutes. Plonk. And we'll come back in 10 minutes and add the Nelson Sauvignon. There we are, that's boiling over lovely, isn't it? And we're just, as you can see, we're just coming towards the end of the first 10 minutes for those Chinook. And then what we're going to do, well now, once this finishes, what we're going to do is we're going to chuck in 25 grams of Nelson Sauvignon hops. Here they are, lovely Nelson Sauvignon hops, smell beautiful. Stop that. Okay, that's done. Chuck that in. La -da -da -da. Give that a stir around. And we let it go for another 10 minutes. So here we go, plonk. See you in 10. Here we are, boys and girls. Once again, we're coming to the end of this particular round. There we go, that's all done. What we do now is we chuck in the final bunch of hops. This time around we've got some Cascade, 25 grams of Cascade. Chuck those in. And those that know me, you know I love Cascade. Really nice hop. Beautiful hop addition to any ale or lager for that matter. So we'll chuck those in, give that a bit of a stir, and we're going to let that boil for about another 5 minutes. Hello, me here. Now, while that's on the go, I've got another 2 minutes and 42 seconds. 2 minutes 39, 2 minutes. While that's on the go, I'm going to have a homebrew. Can't beat it, boys, can you? Can't beat it. Right, so now we are at the end of the 5 minutes boil for the Cascade, and what we're going to do is we're going to leave this just to sit for 5 minutes, just to steep, and then we'll come back and put it into some cold water to cool it down a bit, and strain it into our fermenting vessel. Hello. Right, I know you can't see me, but over here we've got our pot that's been cooled down a little bit, and what we've got to do is we've got to just chuck that through there. Like so. Making sure we get out as much of the liquid as we can, of course, and most of the hops will stay in the bucket, the pan rather. Now the thing with this is you're never going to get the temperature down enough to just bung the yeast on top straight away without some help. So for that you're going to need a temperature controlled beer fridge. I've got one. You should get yourself one too if you can. If you can't, don't worry too much. There's those hops. Yeah, there's not much liquid left in there, it's just hops really. So I'm going to take that off. Most of the liquid is down the bottom there. And what we're going to do next is we're going to open up the 2 tins of malt extract and chuck that in. And here I am chucking in the amber malt extract. As you can hear in the background, the kettle's on to get the rest of this extract out once I've got out as much as I can. And then we'll move on to the light malt extract. Right, boys and girls, I'm just chucking in the last of the light malt extract. What I'll probably do is chuck in about 250 grams of malted dextrin. Don't really know yet, I'll think about it. I usually like to chuck in some malted dextrin to get some head on my ales, which I like quite a lot. But I'll make a judgment call in a minute once I've gotten the rest of this extract out, okay? Now I've given this a really good stir. Still stirring it. It's going to be really warm still, so we're going to chuck in some cold water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gravity measurement and probably just chuck it in the beer fridge to cool down to the right temperature, around about 21 degrees, before I pitch the yeast onto it. Let's chuck in some water. Now most of the brews I do nowadays, I use still natural mineral water from the supermarkets. You can use from the tap, it's up to you. I find these are only about £1, so not too expensive at all. Nothing to really worry about cash wise. Plus you know you're going to get a decent water out of it, and you ain't going to have any nasty unwanted tastes and smells coming from it. It's going to be absolutely perfect. I'll give that a final stir. I've decided not to put in any maltodextrin into this particular brew this time around, because I want to see the difference between an ale that's got maltodextrin in and one that hasn't. And this one looks pretty creamy anyway, because it's quite thick. So I'm probably just going to leave it as it is without sticking any maltodextrin in. I think it's got to be worth doing it as an experiment. Bon Jovi! Hello. It's a messy business, this brewing, isn't it, eh? I'm all sweaty, I've got hops all over me. Those hops, mate, cool, bloody hell, they go everywhere. Now, what's been going on then? Well, just behind me in the beer fridge there, the brew is now in there in the fermenting vessel. Unfortunately, it's still about 30 degrees, so it's way too hot to pitch anything on it yet. But in there for a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, it will bring the wort down temperature wise enough so I can pitch some yeast on it. I'm going to put some US-05 in there, probably 1.5 packets, something like that, just to make sure that it gets off to a good start. Yeah, that's all really. Hope you've enjoyed this week's Homebrew Wednesday video. Cheers from me to you. Now, before I go, I just wanted to say, it just goes to show how easy it is to do yourself a decent ale. You don't need all grain. By all means, if you're an all grain brewer, good luck to you. Carry on brewing. Anybody who's brewing is great. But all I've used today is light malt extract, amber malt extract, and some hops, some water, and I'll obviously be chucking in some yeast. And after day 4, I'm going to throw in another 25 grams of Chinook in a little muslin bag. And yeah, just for the last sort of 3 days or so of fermentation, I'll just chuck that in and let it go, and hopefully it will turn out really good. So have a go yourselves, boys and girls. It's not difficult, honestly. If I can do it, so can you. So see you on the next one. Hello.